Hey there, friendlies. How's up? Welcome to the 7th of April episode of my fantabulous live stream, where we have beverages, we have blades, and we do on occasion talk to the subject of bushcraft-related things. Often we talk about booze. First, I want to sound off. How do I sound tonight? I tried to do a little sound check before coming on, but I'm unsure. Just let me check it out. All right, sounds okay to me. Let me know if that changes. I did forget to turn off the Wi-Fi, which I'm going to do now. So if there's a little hiccup, it's my fault for forgetting. There we go. Housekeeping. If you're watching us time shifted, thank you for watching us after the fact. I do love seeing those comments appear in the doobly-doo under the video. And I think you're heroes for spending your time with me, even though you can't, at the time you're watching, participate in all this great chat. So, welcome after the fact. For those of you who are here and those of you who watch after the fact, if at any point you really, really love what you're hearing tonight, I absolutely invite you to hit that smiley thumb. And over the course of this evening, some of my mods and friends will probably make the same suggestion. If at any point tonight you really don't like what's going on, that's fine. Frowny thumb works just as well. And if you would like to play a bigger role in supporting the channel, keeping that light on, keeping me in fancy microphones, my wife bought this microphone, and memory cards, shall we say, then I invite you to click that join button with the right clicky action. Then open the link in a new tab so that you don't miss any of the great conversation, and see the two tiers and what each of those tiers gets you for your hard-earned money. So I see that many chatty McChatties are happening, so I'm just going to check out, see who's kicking with us. Excuse me. We had David the Instigator popping in number first tonight at 8:51, which is right after I set this up. I was a little late tonight, and also tea's a good drink. He, by the way, David the Instigator is a channel hero and a channel mod. So if anyone's rude, he's gonna do the heroic thing and toast your ass. Number 2 in tonight was Christy Grounds, who is also a channel hero. Nice to see you, Christy. How's the weather all the way down there? Hey, how's the weather with you, David, the Instigator? Because I got snow today. Not a lot. Not like inches and inches. I believe Russell got like 4 inches or something. That's what she said. But yeah, I didn't get nearly that much. We got like about this much, and it's going to disappear for sure. For sure. So Christy was number 2. Number 3 is Paul. Paul, it's been good having you hanging with us. I'm glad that you found this channel. You've got cool things to say whenever we start to talk about the whiskey. You're kind of a nice guy. I will ask what everyone's drinking in a little bit, and I have something to say about that as well. Who else we got? Who got? Paul, Christy, Canadian in the house. How you doing, Canadian? How are things in Ontario tonight? I think I know you got snowed on as well. Okay, everyone's just sort of saying hi to each other, so I'm going to skip a little bit down, and unless I see someone who I missed. There we go. There's Mr. Country Boy. How you doing tonight, Mr. Country Boy? And I had a little video call last night to talk about whiskey. It seems that every time Discord updates, it kind of messes something up. We had some trouble getting everything to work. But it did work. And We had a good conversation. Who else is hanging with us? I'm just popping through, making sure I'm not missing anybody. Anybody. It's not funny. Yeah, Canadian said it snowed here today. And then I followed that up with here too. I mean, it did, right? I'm so look. I'm not one of these guys who's all like, I can't stand winter anymore. I hate the winter. But I am getting a little tired of it now. I mean, it's April. I want to see buds on the trees. You know, I want to. Yeah, it wasn't a great winter either. At least here in Montreal, it wasn't frigid. Like we weren't like fighting through minus 40, or anything like that. We don't often go to minus 40 either. I was kind of firing for effect there, but like we didn't even really hit minus 30 that often or anything like that. And it's not like we spent the entire time buried under, 20 million tons of snow or anything. Like in some ways it was quite a mild winter, but the problem is when the ground isn't poofy and white, winter's ugly and depressing and gray and like skeletal trees everywhere and brown grass that's crisp underfoot because it's frozen, and wind that feels like it's going to draw blood at any second. And so it wasn't a great winter. And I think that if it had been a more sort of floofy white winter, I probably wouldn't be quite so done in by it at this point. I mean, we have gotten a great big dump in April before, so I really want to be careful of what I say here. But yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking the same thing, Canadian, for sure. Come to Arizona. We don't have winter. Country boy saying the important stuff. Fine, I can drown my sorrows in one of the 3 bottles I got this weekend. Yeah. Paul, you might find his bottles kind of interesting. Paul doesn't want the snow anymore either. Yep. Yeah, so, okay, a couple of people are asking Country Boy what he got. Christy and Paul. Canadian got an ad. Who else got an ad? Sound is okay. Good. I'm glad to hear it. Hey, there's Chris. Chris the Peanut Trucker. Chris the Peanut Trucker is a channel mod. So be nice or get the road hammer dropped upon thee. Upon you. Upon all. Everybody. Just scrolling down on the YouTubes just to see. And I'm not fuzzy tonight. I'm pretty sure it was like what a rain fade or something last time, which doesn't really make sense. I'm not going to dwell on it. We're just going to move right on because I feel that if we talk about it, we're going to jinx everything. And next thing you know, and fuzzy, right? So let's just leave it alone. There's the real Grace Martin. How you doing, Grace? I hope you're not freezing, and I hope you're not all getting rained on. I hope all is great. That's the magic of this mic. Couldn't afford it on my own, but it's a great microphone. It's a great microphone that requires effort to make it great, though, right? I've gone through this for my OGs. They all know, but like this mic, because it's a radio mic, okay, it's meant to go into a soundboard and then out into the airwaves, or like a soundboard and then a recorder, right, for like interviews and stuff, like desk interviews. It's very low output, so that's why it's got this extra cylinder right here, right, and that's a signal lifter. That was an extra $110, and then it goes through the cable to a sound, like an audio interface that I have here that I bought so that I could plug my bass into my computer and record myself, plug mic into my computer, record myself. My cans are plugged into that. There are USB mics that sound really good too. And there's a USB version of this now. It's actually a little less expensive than this too. But I'm not going to replace this mic just because there's suddenly a USB version of it, because I have the interface. I have the load lifter. And this has been my dream mic for as long as I've known about microphones. So the USB one hasn't been one of my dream mics for my whole life. So, and this is a very old design too. They've been around for a really long time. This is like the North American radio mic. If you're listening to somebody talking into the radio, it's virtually always this mic. In the UK, they have a different sort of iconic radio mic, which is very cool. And it's why like your UK radio, like DJs or whatever they're calling on-air personalities now, they have a slightly crisper, slightly less bassy tone. It's because of that mic, and I don't remember what it's called right now because I have a gimpy brain. How did I get down? Anyways, okay. We're moving right along. Everybody saying hi. Everybody say hi. Hi. Country boy is showing off. The bourbon, the rum cask bourbon. Wait, that first bourbon is the black bourbon, isn't it? Or is the rum cask the black? No. Rum cask bourbon, and then you got a black bourbon. And you got that Cathaven, right? The Macalonis. I believe Paul has had that Cathaven. Chris is at home tonight. Nice. Say hi to the missus for us. So, since we're talking about whiskey, this is what I'm having tonight. And those of you who watched my cocktail live this week will know what I'm about to say about this. So this is sort of a Canadian bourbon analog. It's shite. It was cheap. It was $38, so whatever. But everything on the label tells me that this should have been better than it was. So it's got whiskey Fini au bois d'érable grillé, an artisanal premium whiskey, first raised in white oak barrels. It is then rebarreled in new, heavily toasted, lightly charred white oak barrels and rests for extended maturation. Our toasted maple wood stave finishing process creates a complex whiskey radiating dry cinnamon spice, toasted oak, and light orchard fruit flavors. So that maple staves thing means that they put staves in the barrel. Okay? This is the kind of thing that you're not allowed to do with Scotch. There was every now and again a Scotch maker gets in trouble with the Scotch Whisky Association for doing something that you're not allowed. You're not allowed to just throw some staves in there. I believe you're not. Paul might correct me on this because I don't remember the whiskey I'm thinking about, but it was either they got in trouble for putting staves into the barrel, or they got in trouble for changing the wood on the end caps and used the staves to get around that. Either way, it's a non-traditional way of adding something into the aging process. And it's 45%. So I was like, for $38, what's not to love? Well, at $38, it's obviously chill filtered and caramel colored, right? There's nothing technically wrong with the flavor, but it's way too thin. It's very thin tasting for what I was expecting it to be. I was expecting a much, much bigger taste sensation than I got. Now, when I use this on because it smells very convincingly bourbony. There's even a peanuttiness there. And so I was expecting, so I should have immediately tempered my expectations when I opened it, and there was one of those plastic things that bars that use the donut or whatever have, but that came off really, really easily. But anyway, so that was a major disappointment. Now that it's been open a little bit, I will try it again at 10 o'clock tonight, and we'll see. There's no age statement on it. 3 minutes to 10, I can pour it. But anyways, so Paul, if you haven't bought this bottle yet, don't spend your $38. Destiny's in the house. How you doing, Destiny? I when I did my cocktail stream, I was gonna just sort of turn on the camera and go, but I was like, Destiny's gonna expect the apron, so I dug out the apron. I'm just taking a look. Everyone's saying hi. We're just gonna boom, boom, boom. I don't know what this says. Destiny says, I hope YouTube is not subscribing us to channels we don't pick ourselves. That's unreal and kind of scary. I have not heard of that. Did somebody get subscribed to a channel they didn't pick? Because I haven't heard anything about that. Canadian. Have to mention it costs $185 to fill my truck with gas. Yeah, it cost me pretty close to $100 to fill my CX-5 this week too. Gas was at 202.9. Look, two things. Oh no, I paid 202.09 for my gas. People are getting bombed to shit. So it's hard for me to really, complain, but I will say that it's interesting that the U.S. government kind of took all the teeth out of the electrification, whatever that word is, plan. So all these big car manufacturers cut way back on their on their EVs, except Toyota, that for next year have expanded it to 7 models of full electric, and then this whole thing happens. So I really wish I'd bought some Toyota stock this past week. But yeah, it's unbelievably expensive. And it's just going to get worse, right? Because it's that price before it even has to be, right? Because there's a lot of reserves that they're chewing through right now. When the reserves are gone, we're going to see it a lot more expensive. Like a lot. Oh, you got a bottle of Nika. Hell yeah. I'm gonna have to find something really nice to show my appreciation with that you haven't already. Okay, all y'all, Paul is almost impossible to buy whiskey for, because if you look at his Instagram, he's had everything that you could ever want, and even a couple of things that you're like, really, Paul? But the vast majority of what you'll see on his Instagram are bottles that just, if you see it, they're just go and buy it. Just go and buy it. The one that I was surprised by was the one that Paul was drinking last week, because it was something that I had passed up. But based on your words last week, I'm going to take a look for it for sure. There's Marcus. Hey, how are you doing, Marcus? Are you on the mend? I think I'd heard that you were getting better, but are you back up to full strength yet? I'm asking for 2 reasons. A, because I care about my buddies, but also selfishly, I want to do that panel convo with you and David about lanterns. And just in case anyone got a little too warm and fuzzy on me there. Hey, that was really painful. So, did I tell you guys that I got the wicked case of tennis elbow after the whole St. Patrick's Week slaughter? So I went I saw a physiotherapist yesterday, and worked on it a little, set up, gave me some exercises to do, and another appointment next Monday. But this arm is killing me. I shift you not. I got a drink. Okay, so let's ask. What's everyone got tonight? What's everyone drinking? Oh, before 10 o'clock, I have a Guinness Zero so that I'm not getting 3 sheets to the wind on a work night. I'm also really trying to cut back on my alcohol for sort of the old man elements. You know, blood sugar and all that stuff. Fat, not fat content, but you know, sugar is turning into making me a fat bitch. And this Guinness Zero actually tastes like beer. There's a lot of piss poor 0% beer out there, but there's actually a couple of really good ones too that I tried in Alberta. Like, as a band, we try to not drink too much booze going through a gig. Like, we like to save it for sort of at the end so we don't get like sloppy halfway through. Slanja, friends. So Guinness Zero up until 10, and after 10, I'm gonna have a dram of this Collingwood. So, I wanted to say, so the reason why it's good to have this bottle is because I keep telling you guys that I've been drinking my premium ass whiskey and not paying the attention to it that it deserves because I'm too busy talking to you guys. Because when I am talking to you guys, that's where my focus needs to be. So this crappy freaking whiskey, maybe that'll be my live streaming whiskey. Or maybe I'll just hate it and toss it like I did that freaking Proper 12. Yeah, so in Quebec it was 202 a liter because we have the reason practically nobody in Quebec gave a crap about the personal like the carbon tax on vehicles is because we already have one, and Carney didn't kill ours because he didn't have the power to. We already have one, and that's just the way it is. We don't even care about it. It's just there. But that's why, like, 181 for Canadian, but 202 for me. It's not that now. Today, I think it's gone down again, but I'm not sure about that. I haven't heard anything about this. From what I can tell, YouTube does subscribe to your channels under the personal notification. I do not know anything about that. Oh, you have a diesel, $6.18 a gallon. That's going to be easily $8 or $9 when the reserves are gone, and they're going to be gone soon. Destiny, I hear you. My little bicycle might be my main transport if this keeps up. Man, my bike was my main transport for 20 years, but it's just where I work now. I have a coworker who lives 5 minutes from my front door, and he bikes to work. And it's 16 kilometers, and he can get there on a bike in 49-ish minutes, whereas in the morning I can get there within like a half hour, but on the way home it's never under an hour, you know. I will tell you something, I was a lot lighter when I biked everywhere, and I would really like to get back to it, but I think I'm going to for next year I'm going to see if I can afford an electric bike. Because he does that. He used to bike on like just a hybrid road bike, but since he got his electric, it's a much easier go. So that's what I'd like to do. Paul, merci, Jesse. Is that because I was complimenting you on your amazing taste in whiskey and your Instagram page? Does anyone here do Instagram? Paul, do you want to see if you can drop your Instagram in the side chat? I don't know if it allows us to drop URLs. I mean, it allows mods to do it. Yes, it is, but that's the oil industry. Okay, so David got about 4 inches as well of the fluffy stuff. Nice. At least it's pretty, right? No, it sucks. I mean, I do like a nice snowy day, but not in April. I was like, funk this. Bam, ba, bam, ba, bam, bam. There's Peanut Trucker saying hi to me because I said hi to him. And he's home. Destiny will have to buy a beret to match her bicycle aesthetic. Maybe a mini Yorkie in the front bicycle basket as well. Oh, you got a basket on the front? My main ride is it's a retired cross country race bike, mountain bike. Love that thing. From 2004. I've swapped out many parts on it. Love that bike. It was so much a part of my identity for a long time that if anyone was downtown, I don't go downtown anymore because no time, but if anyone was downtown and they saw that bike, they knew it was mine, so they knew I was in that cafe. Because it was a Da Vinci, it is a Da Vinci Phantom. But like the cockpit and the crank and everything, I swapped everything out for Race Face. And that model had a flat handlebar, and I swapped it out for a riser. Oh, and I put disc brakes on it. Wasn't gonna because disc brakes are heavier than the V brakes, but I was booting it on a rainy ass day, threw the brakes on, but the outer edge of the wheel is a lot wetter than the hub, and so forget it. I just slid right under a box truck that was fortunately stopped at a red light. So the next day I scrimped and I grabbed what money I could, went to the bike store and bought some discs. Chris loves winter, hates to see it go. It's hot and the trees have bloomed already. But like, how bad does winter get down there? I mean, Hike with Mike, some of the temperatures he's been giving us have surprised me because I sort of see Florida the same way I see, or Arizona, right? Like living on the surface of the sun in the summer, and not that bad in the winter. But like, I don't think of Florida as ever getting bona fide cold. Marcus is home. Good to be home. Canadian wants to go kayaking, fishing, camping. Winter can kiss my whole arse. Sorry, my whole peach. My whole peach. I will never eat another peach after reading that. Hey, there's Jim. 19 Fahrenheit this morning. Snow flurries yesterday. No accumulation, thank goodness. That's pretty cold. I mean, it was kind of cold here today too. Thank you for reminding me that I have to take a picture of the weather so that I don't forget later. But like, it was a high of 0, low of -3, low of -5. But like, it'll be, oh, it's -3 right now, but it feels like -7 because of the wind and all that stuff. 94, where Christy is. That seems hot. Because like 40 degrees Canadian is 100 degrees freedom, is it? Dave is just jealous of my my sweet Mike. Hey, I was just talking about you. How you doing, Mike? You cold down there? You warm? Is it wet? Has anyone tried the Canadian rye whiskey by Pivot Springs? I have never even heard of Pivot Springs. Excuse me while I pretend not to do a Google an online search. Pivot Springs. Pivot Springs Limited Craft Spirits, Rolling Hills. Where is this? Our story. If you search for a small distillery with a unique taste and a personal touch, add sustainability to your list. Pivot Springs is a craft distillery rooted in farming to create brilliant and unique facility and product in this prairie region that has been made bountiful by irrigation. So, my first thought is Alberta. My second thought is, I don't know, maybe Saskatchewan? Maybe Manitoba? I mean, there's only 3 prairie provinces, right? They keep saying the prairies, but I want to see where. Local ingredients. Yeah, where? Where? Tell me where. About our spirits? Reduced carbon footprint. Well, maybe not Alberta then. That almost sounds like a Manitoba thing. Rolling Hills, Alberta, really. They know what they're doing when it comes to booze out there in Alberta. That's for damn sure. I mean, without like a provincial monopoly, it's a lot easier to sort of start a distillery and get a business going. You know. Pivot Springs. Ba-ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-ba-boom, boo. Just sort of looking at everyone saying hi again. Oh, there's Beto. How you doing? How's the weather all the way down there in Brazil tonight? Tonight, tonight. Grace says, I knew a guy who was stationed at Camp David. When foreign dignitaries would visit in the winter, he said they would blow fresh white snow over the gray sludgery snow so it looked pretty. Not surprising. For 2 reasons. I mean, one, you want the place to look pretty when foreign dignitaries arrive, but second, gray sludgy snow is gross to look at. It's depressing. Everyone's saying hi again. We got Angry Otter popping in. How are you doing? How are things tonight, Angry? Are you having a drink with us tonight, Angry? We sort of swapped notes on what we were having. Oh, Christy, you said what you had, and I read it and then just scrolled on past, and now I don't remember what it was. Zach Fudge, all hail the ale. I tried Ardbeg Wee Beastie last month and was not a fan. So, I've had 2 bottles of Wee Beastie, and the first one I bought I thought was really nice for about 6 months, and then it sort of picked up this Band-Aid note that I really didn't like because I love me a peated whiskey, but I hate the Band-Aid note. That's why I don't buy a lot of Lafroig. I feel it's kind of not too bad with the 10-year. If you get to really older ones, it just goes away. But like the quarter cask just killed me dead. I was like, nope, way too much iodine here. And the second bottle of Wee Beastie I had, I kind of didn't like as much. It was a little too, and it had more of that Band-Aid note. And that's weird because Ardbeg isn't known for too much Band-Aid. More of a briny thing happening, which I love. Paul is having Johnny Walker 12 Black Label. Was gifted to you over the weekend. If I'd known you were drinking Johnny Walker, I would have got out my green label. I have a green label, and I have the Island Green. Is that what it's called? The Island Green, which is a slightly different, in the same ballpark, but slightly different. The Island Green is a travel retail exclusive, I believe, and it came in like a 1-liter bottle. I'm never going to get through that. But Green Label is my favorite of the Johnny Walkers, I think. I mean, the relatively reasonably priced ones. I've had a few bottles of the Blue, thanks to Al. And that's a very good whiskey as well. Maybe it's $100 too much. And the King George is very dreamy. I do miss that bottle. Just let me look at something here. So Angry Otter says, You need to. Oops. You need to get a bottle of Rebecca Creek. So I'm going to look that up. Rebecca Creek. Oh, San Antonio, Texas. I'm never going to see it up here. Ever. Texas has a lot of cool craft distilleries. But you're never going to see it up here. I'm looking for the ABV. Oh, it's in the States, so they do that proof thing, right? Doesn't matter. I can do the math. Oh, I should be sharing the screen. I didn't intend for this to turn into like a whiskey talk, but I mean, if anyone hates that, let me know and we'll move on. Share. Fool. So, Rebecca, fine Texas blended whiskey. 80 proof, so that's a 40% bare minimum for a whiskey. What else do they have? Is this like the next bottle? Small batch. 87 proof, so 43. Oh, it's got the ABV on the other side. Nice. 75% yellow corn, 21% rye, 4% malted barley. So is it 20% and above is considered a high rye? Do I have that right, or are my numbers wrong? 16-year-old straight bourbon whiskey, 100 to 130 proof. Why would they do 100 to 130 proof? Is that like depending on, is it batched? And is all their stuff 75 corn, 21 rye, 4 malted barley? Bourbon Spanish oak, 120 to 128 proof. It must be batched if that's if they're giving us ranges rather than like a straight proof number. Texas straight, 100 proof. There we go. But that's a limited release. Nice looking bottle. Nice looking label. Double barrel. Oak and rye spice blended together for a toasted oak smooth finish. Yeah, but it's the same mash bill as the others. So never even heard of it, but wonder how good it is. They've got a nice array of ABV options. Gross. That's an expensive foot soak, dude. Destiny says, Kay, explain. Are whiskeys made with water from other areas than the area the whiskey is produced in? Bill 24, Alberta Whiskey Rules, seems pretty strict. Had no idea about the water, though. Okay, so depends on the distillery. There are some scotches that there are some distilleries in Scotland that, because of the amalgamation of brands, and I'm not saying this is widespread necessarily, it's just that there are certain distilleries that make their stuff, throw it in barrels, ship it to Edinburgh for bottling. And so then it's Edinburgh water that gets used. So yeah, it's still in Scotland. But there are other distilleries that where like it is our pride that we make, we do our new make, we age it, and we bottle it right here on our own estate kind of thing. I mean, I looked over the rules for Paul. You know about this, I'm sure. That Alberta is trying to get their own like geographical. What do you call it? Like Cheddar has it, and Champagne has it, and it's a geographical, like a distinction, and the word is completely escaping me. So Alberta's trying to do this for Alberta whiskeys. But it could still mean that, something up in, I don't know, say there's a distillery in North Battleford barrels their stuff and ships it to Calgary to be bottled, right? It's still in Alberta. I think North Battleford's in Alberta. I'm going to feel really stupid if that's just across the line. But like, you don't get a lot of like, this was barreled in Scotland and bottled in, you know, France. Do you know what I'm saying? Then it's no longer Scotch. So yes, but it's not necessarily like real sort of pinpointy pin. That's not even where I was going to go with that. It's not. There's still room to maneuver a little bit. Yeah, this sounds right. Angry Otter is saying that it won't subscribe you, but it will recommend new channels. That yeah, that is absolutely true. Austin popping in. How you doing, mister? How's Austin tonight? 2142. I'm going to finish this delectable high ABV Guinness. Cool bunch of peeps here tonight. All the usual heroes. And we got Austin, we got Paul, Angry Otter's here. Austin is saying something that, please tell me you're not being political. If you are, that's hilarious, though. We actually do Taco Tuesdays here too, but I mean that in the most innocuous way possible. Last time I believe it was fish tacos. Enchiladas is good too. We had pizza tonight. By the time everyone finally got home, the traffic tonight was unreasonable. Yeah, I saw that. I saw that. I will wait to see if it sticks. Isaac says the spring snow is pretty killer. That's one way to put it. Ça fait plaisir. And I'm ça le plaisir. What was I going to say? Yeah, I'm wondering if the light dusting of snow we got is why traffic was so garbage. Absolute garbage on the way home. The missus and I had an appointment at like 4 o'clock. I left the office in enough time to get there by 3:45 to give myself a little cushion. I went running in at like 4 minutes to 4. She pinged me and she was still like a half hour away. You know, like by the time she got out of her car, she'd been in the car for like 2 hours. It's just like the traffic was garbage tonight. Hey, Russell. You're drinking the most famous Canadian whiskey that just can never remember the name of. Crumbs, because I keep saying it's like Grants or something. I can never remember what it is. You're so right. That's amazing. Okay, everyone's Evan Williams. Yeah, yeah. I think you've been having the Evan Williams every week for a while, haven't you? Or when you've been having whiskey. the white label, just the regular one. Kentucky straight bourbon. You don't know how to do that. What did I say? What did I say? Like, how late am I? 21:46, and Paul said this at 9:28. So of course, like 20 odd minutes ago, I have no idea what I said. Russell says, I've gotten electric bikes for reviews. You should do that angle. Yeah, I know the one I want. It's just, yeah. Zach says 208 per liter in Newfoundland. Pretty nuts, but when the U.S. is bombing a regime that funds and supply, well, yeah. No, I don't want to get too political about it, but I did say that, like, I have heavy gas price. People are getting slaughtered in the region where it's coming from, so I have a hard time really complaining about it. Oh, good. You're mostly back to normal. That's good. That's really good. So is it, have you had to do a lot of work, or does it just sort of solve itself over time? Because that was like a very specific thing that happened to you, right? And I don't know if that's a physio thing or it just sort of waited out and it just slowly heals. Peter Turkey says Florida's been pretty cool the past couple of years. We've had snow in the last 2 years, unusual for us, but we've ran the water all night, more than usual. It's been down to 4 Canadian at night, a few nights. Wow, that seems cold for Florida to me. But like my awareness of Florida comes from having some in-laws there and like whatever I see on the news or movies or whatever. I've never been to Florida. Yeah, a lot of people are very happy that Marcus is getting better, except of course for David because he's just such a brat. Paul didn't like it at all either. Yeah, I'm not going to buy another one. I feel that after the first bottle had aged a bit, which is when it's supposed to get better, it got worse for me. In the second bottle, I was just like, you know what? No. No. I'm good. I'm also like a little jaded about Ardbeg now. Like, I used to be a major Ardbeg fanboy. But, like, I bought a few of the committee releases, and there's too many of them. They're not like, they're not hitting the same quality they used to on those committee releases. I've heard that the Ugadal is nowhere near what it was when it originally came out. I don't know how to judge that. I still like the Ugadal. I don't have a sample of a really old one to compare with. But if the way the committee releases are going is any indication, then I absolutely believe that the Ugadal is no longer as good as it used to be. Look, I know that it's hard to get the same quality of casks as these companies used to get. Angry Otter says Rebecca Creek is lovely. I will never know. Oh, Zach was gifted an old bottle of the Monkey Shoulder from when they sourced some of their blending spirit from Glenfiddich. It's very different from what you used to get today, and in your opinion, better. I have a bottle of the Monkey Shoulder. I use it for cocktailing, but it's my first one. I had never bought one before. I don't think we got it here for a long time, or maybe I just didn't know what I would like. I just didn't think to look for it. Country Boy's internet is crap tonight. 90% of what he's typing doesn't go through. Oh, that's frustrating. I hate that. Hey, Tenenbaum here. Hey. That's only funny if you know Swedish. It's not even funny if you know Swedish, actually. I'm not funny. Angrader says the movie Lawless is about my great uncles who are moonshine rotters in Virginia. My cousins opened Bondurant Brothers Distillery in Virginia for moonshine. That's cool. It's I'm sure that's a hell of a life. Moonshining out in the woods, sneaking around, selling your wares. Hey, there's Sean in Alaska. How are you doing tonight? You cold up there tonight? It's kind of cold here. And what's your beverage for the 9 minutes until 10. So I've got plenty of time to finish up this. Oh, that was really painful. Oh, tennis elbow bites my arse. maybe not my arse, but it sure bites. Angry Otter says Bluegrass. My cousin Matt wrote the book the movie is based on. Pretty accurate, but a bit more dramatic in the film, especially the bridge scene. So it's virtually impossible to translate a book directly to screen because books happen internally, right? You can describe things more for the mind's eye of the reader, whereas in film, you need to have some action, some external stimuli and all that stuff. So I'm not surprised to hear that. I mean, I loved the just to take a really obvious example. I loved the Lord of the Rings movies, but I'd be lying if I said they were all that. They were relatively faithful, but you can't be fully. An excellent example of this is the Foundation series on Apple TV. I started watching that because when I'd heard that someone was actually turning that work in, putting it on screen, I was like, how? Because it was forever considered to be completely unfilmable. What Apple TV's done is actually it's pretty good. But like, I think sometimes an author, sells the rights to their book and then sees the film and it's like, that's not what I wrote. And it's like, no, it's not going to be what you wrote. It will be in the same ballpark most of the time. Right. It was about sharing his Instagram. Right. Can I access Instagram in this browser? Let me try. I'm going to take like just a couple of seconds here because I don't want to okay, that's not the profile I wanted. Just give me one more second here. No. Instagram's... what the hell is Paul's Instagram name? I don't know if I want to take up too much time to do this. Give me 1 second to give it a try, and if not, I will drop it into the side chat. Into the whatever. Okay, the one Paul. Is that gonna work? Sure as funk is. Sure as funky town is. Okay, I shall do it. Boom. Right? Yes, boom. All right. You can't drop links unless you are modded. Okay, so that's why Tenenbaum can drop links all the time, but not everyone can. Destiny's been checking out movie outlets to maybe get Chris's book done. Getting a book made into film is that's a flex. Jim is heading home. All right, drive safe, and we'll see you on the other side, Jim. Zach says Lord of the Rings Extended is I'm going to try that again. And we're all friends here, okay? Lord of the Rings Extended is a Christmas tradition amongst my friends and I. I would make that a Christmas tradition as well. My poor 7-year-old would be hiding under the covers, though. So maybe not for a few years. The Madame and I have watched the extended editions through a couple of times. I keep thinking we should do that again, but it's hard to get the time because they're long. Paul, some of these bottles are amazing. Oh, you've got the Two Brewers special finishes. I don't know what release that is, but I should not be looking at this. Yes, I shall pour it now. It's entirely possible that now this bottle's been open a bit, it's sort of started to bloom or something. He said, hopefully, with hope in his heart. There we go. I think I'd like to watch the whole extended edition on my 11th birthday, if I make it that far. TV adaptation of Foundation is bizarre. Yeah, but I don't think they could make it not bizarre. The book is like it. I needed to see how they did it, because it's really hard to sort of like. It's hard to tell that story outside of a book. Russell says, only mods can put links in chat because it's a serious responsibility and no one else can be trusted. I don't know what that link is, but I do not think anyone should click it. Or open a new tab and see what it is. This is literally 10 hours. Russell, you brat. You absolute brat. David is asking Peanut Trucker how the knife is. Angry Otter says, with the Lord of the Rings extended, you start off the age of Frodo and end at the age of Gandalf. Yeah, you're right. Yep. David says, Destiny wants to star in the movie as Angelina, wants Ray to be Wyatt. Oh, you have the release 23, 28, and 50. I have 43, I think. 46, 43. I thought it was going to be Batman as well, but it's not. Peanut Trucker says, my next novel will be out in maybe 2 weeks. Less religious, more mystery. Cool. Oh, it's 10 o'clock. Hold on. No, I'm not going to chug. I don't want to get drunk off of 0% beer. No, I'm just kidding. So here we go. Collingwood. Happy 10 p.m., folks. Very bourbony, yeah. Heavy vanilla, caramel, oak spice for sure. Very woody. Touch of peanut. It's like you sip it and you have this brief moment of a nice bourbon taste, and then it just sort of goes like there's no finish, and you don't get like a friendly mouthfeel off it. It's watery, it's thin. Like, I don't know if you can see this, but like there's no tears happening. There's no oiliness. There's no, like, The nose tells me prepare for something delightful. But then as soon as you swallow it, it hollows out like immediately. How do you do that? I mean, I know that if you're distilling towards a certain price point, which they obviously did, then you're not going to get like it's not going to be like the Thunder Chicken, right? You're not going to get like Wild Turkey 101 at you know at this kind of price. Although Wild Turkey 101 is not that much more expensive, right? But yeah, I don't know. Meh. Hold on. Going on back. Zach is watching on the PS5 and chatting on the phone. The 5 has gotten 3 or 4 ad breaks while the phone hasn't gotten any. That is interesting. I do wish I had a PS5, by the way. Oh, you're at the having Cast Strength 2025. I'm going to look forward to hearing your impressions of on that. Yeah, the 12. Yeah. I have an older Cask Strength 12 that I haven't opened yet. I've been really working on bottling down. Come on, elbow. I finished the Bikun this week. I finished and dearly miss my Redbreast 12 Cask Strength. That's it. That's a beautiful whiskey. I finished off a few things. So like I've got an old Compass box to open. The Orchard House. Now I've noticed there's Orchard House back at the SAQ and it's got a slightly different label on it. So I'm wondering if the juice inside is the same, because different master blender now, right? I'm tempted to pick up a new bottle and to open them together. Paul poured the Johnny Walker 12-9 rocks glass. No Glencairn tonight. If you're gonna use a rocks glass, the Johnny Walker is the one to do it with, right? On one big rock or a couple of little ones. Russell says, in the city, I didn't have any serious glasses for whiskey, so I used a coffee mug. I'll take my punishment like a man. All right. Hey, I'm caught up. Amazing, I'm caught up. I keep looking over at Paul's Instagram page. Yeah, so the thing is, I'm not getting enjoyment out of this, right? Like the idea of just sort of keeping it as the live stream whiskey, because then because I don't pay enough attention to the whiskeys, is solid. But I still want to enjoy the booze, right? Angry says, Ontario was weird to me where you had to go to a government store to buy alcohol. Here in Texas, you have a spot about every corner. Still enjoyed being in Mississauga, though. So in Quebec, here it's the same thing. There's a liquor commission, and it's a two-edged sword, because in Ontario and in Quebec, and I believe in BC, you've got one philosophy behind buying the liquor, right? Whereas in a place like Alberta, it's like Texas, it's unregulated. So you have some stores that have a fabulous whiskey selection, and you have some stores that kind of don't. But with a liquor commission, you're never going to get gouged for like the usual suspects, right? Like a Blanton's will cost whatever the MSRP is in Quebec or in Ontario, right? They're not going to crank it to $800 just because they can. Same with like a Pappy. It's not going to be, you know, wildly out of range just because they can. Getting those bottles is hard though, right? I mean, the SAQ will throw a Pappy or a few Pappies out on allocation once or twice a year. Same with the Blantons. Well, not anymore, but when you could buy American, they would put them out on allocation every now and again. I never won any of those. I won like a what's the one with the mill? The little picture of the mill on the label. Something Deanston Virgin Oak. The Virgin Oak wasn't on allocation. That's just how I made the connection. Deanston, I think it was a 12-year or something that was on allocation for some reason, but I was like, okay, I'll try it. And I won that one. Yeah. Russell, I started watching Battlestar Galactica, the miniseries from 2003. Gonna get into the regular series next. It's on Amazon. Yeah, I loved Battlestar Galactica. I thought it was probably the best thing on TV at the time. Although it was on the heels of like Firefly, and there were some elements of the filming that were very similar in both. Like, you know, you zoom in on a ship and then zoom back out to sort of correct stuff like that. Brilliant filmmaking. Battlestar Galactica had a very spiritual element to it that I was going to say I wasn't really comfortable with, but the religious elements were not necessarily problem free, right? So it was kind of realistic that way. There were very few white versus black, good guys versus bad guys. It's like everyone was just trying to get by. So it was brilliantly written. The ending of it left me feeling viciously cheated. That is all I will say. But brilliant show. Brilliant. You never thought to order a Glencairn for when he was there? No, he never did, eh? Country boy knows what he's talking about. Is a Sears glass like a moose glass? Russ, I did not anticipate being there that long. Angry Otter says Battlestar Galactica is very good, but very heavy on the religious overtones. Yeah. Zach's cousin in Glasgow gets you scotch for your an all-in-one birthday and Christmas gift. As a prank for my 25th a couple of years ago, he bought me a bottle of White and McKay. Over there, it's cheap. Tall is not a fan of the Deanston 12. I haven't opened it yet. I thought the Virgin Oak had a really nice creaminess to it. It was cheaper than Bell's over there. Interesting. Yeah, I haven't tried the Deanston 12 yet. It was like random. I chose a few bottles, knowing that I wasn't going to win all of them for sure. But like I had chosen because back then you could get a Pappy that way. But no. Oh, you didn't like the cologne / perfume flower note. Oh no. So I like to do a sort of a floral whiskey in the summer. That's a summer dram to me. Even then, floral is not one of my. It's not my big thing. You know, I'm not a big lover of the floral. I will be optimistic. if you tie in the original series of Battlestar Galactica, I think the ending was perfect. Just my opinion. I don't want to say anything because Russell hasn't seen it yet, but fair. But can I maybe say that last episode should have been twice as long? Because it felt a little rushed at the very end, because it was really coming to something, and I'm with you on that. I just felt that that last episode was maybe just a little too short. And it was like the dialogue between the two characters talking at the end that I just felt it just felt rushed or something. Yeah. Russell loved the original Battlestar, but even as a kid, he hated that battle scenes were reused every. Yeah. Well, I mean, look, budgets, right? Budgets. I mean, and especially because everything was done practically back then. Yeah. You know exactly what I'm saying, Otter. I don't want to say anything else because I want Russell to be fresh from stem to stern the whole series. Oh, and then I watched Caprica. Did I watch the whole thing? Yeah, I think I watched all of Caprica. That was short. Just brilliantly done. And that actor who played the colonel, whatever his name is, with the eye patch. I like that actor. First time I ever came across that guy was he was a character in a play, The Drawer Boy, at the Santor Theater here in Montreal. And he was just electric on stage, just electrifying. Just like captivating. And so like I know that he voiced a character in Mass Effect 2, brilliantly done. It's like everything he does, he's fabulous at. And you guys know I went to film school, right? So I take kind of an overly jaded view of film in a lot of ways. But when there's an actor who I find absolutely captivating, I can't get enough. Russell has to go for the kind of gross, but that's okay. You know what? It's funny that you say that because I've been trying to remember if I saw the whole thing or not. Because it's been a while, and what you're saying rings true, but I don't remember the ending of that. I got it. Autocorrect is painful. Oh yeah, in the original, Lauren Green was awesome as Commander Adama. Yeah, Adama. Yeah. But Adama in the newer one was also really good. Virally good? What? Virally good. Gross. Yeah, no. We're not. We shall move on. We shall move on. It's funny. What the hell's her name? Who played? What's her name? The hell's her name? She also played in The Mandalorian and stuff. Like she really built a career off of sci-fi based on that show. She's done really well for herself, and I like that. I like seeing actors sort of just keep on going and sort of growing their careers. I hate it when I see an actor in something. I think, man, she's good or he's good. What have they done since? And it's like nothing. Perfect example of that is Jadzia Dax in Deep Space Nine. What the hell was her name? Man, names and me tonight, we're not getting along. What the hell was her name? But I thought she was a great actor, and she quit to have a family and be a wife. Fine, right? I mean, it's a choice. It's just I kind of felt cheated that we didn't see more of her. Yeah, no, we haven't given anything away, but I'm afraid that we might accidentally. Zach has been waiting for Delicious in Dungeon season 2 for years now, and Netflix keeps giving new seasons to terrible shows. That is a great show. I haven't seen all of it, but that was a great show. I'd like to watch the rest of it, for sure. Like, Netflix also rebooted Ranma One Half, which forever was my favorite anime, and I still really have a warm spot in my heart for Ranma One Half. Absolutely. Um, I think I bought season 1 of the original Ranma One Half, and I was like watching the original and the new one sort of one after the other kind of thing for a while to see what changes are. And the new one is very well done, but it doesn't quite have the special sauce the way the original one did. And just in terms of cinematography. David says, what came first, Star Wars or Battlestar Galactica? Battlestar Galactica, the original series, was 1978. Angry says, Terry Farrell, thank you. She was on one of those lawyer shows, but isn't it strange she was totally replaced by Ezri Dax in one season, completely owning the character? Yeah. Yeah, I don't remember why Terry Farrell left, but I do know that she had been like... Did she step away from acting after the lawyer show, or was that like a comeback tour for her? I'm like that guy in The Princess Bride. You've given everything away. And Asia was amazing in The Dead Zone. I didn't see The Dead Zone. I did not see. I have heard tell that they might redo The Princess Bride. I think that's a terrible idea. Unless... What was the name of the actor who did the kid in that? Was it Fred Savage, was it? Do I have that right? Unless he comes back as the grandfather and references, my grandpa used to read me this book, and sort of make it like a meta thing. That's the only way I would be able to accept that, because then retelling that entire story with new faces and stuff, there's like an internal logic there, because then it's this grandpa who's bringing his concept of the story, or whoever the new kid is, probably like maybe his granddaughter this time. It's happening in her mind, so of course she's going to see different faces. That's the only way I could see that happening without it being utterly hateful. Christy says, there's a YouTube channel called Remember When, and it gives you 15 weird facts you didn't know about movies and shows. That sounds cool. Russell would never see a remake of The Princess Bride. I'm telling you the only way that I could see it not being an awful idea. And even then, like, why? I know why. Because Hollywood has given up on new ideas. They know where they can make bank, and it's not in taking a chance on new stuff, because the people running Hollywood now, they're just doing algorithms, right? Transformers 4 is expected to rake in X amount, whereas trying something new with characters that people don't know at like $16 a ticket for a movie. People aren't going to take that kind of chance. Whereas if they can see Megan Fox or whoever or whatever like starlet they throw into the latest Transformers, so that Michael Bay can use the camera like a tongue on another young woman. So that's why they keep remaking things. Ghostbusters with an all-female cast. I'm not the type who thinks that it's a shame to do that kind of change, but stop remaking things. Take a chance. Films are so expensive now that they're afraid to take a chance, but take a chance. You know? Because I don't spend money on movies anymore. Because I don't want to see another remake of another remake. I want to see a new story. And if I hate it, okay. But at least it was a new story. Went down the rabbit hole watching so many episodes. Yeah, some shows just do that. You can never recapture that magic. No, you can't. Absolutely not. That film will remain perfect forever. Will remain perfect. Hello, pretty lady. Everything in it was perfectly done. Billy Crystal. I mean, they had to clear the set to film his scenes because everyone was laughing so hard that it was being picked up by the microphones. You know, because that guy never stays on script. Please don't. Some movies should not be remade. Back to the Future, Neverending Story, Princess Bride. Yep. Absolutely. Could you imagine they tried to redo Back to the Future? What car would they use? Would they use the same DeLorean? It's exactly the kind of thing where, again, it's got to be like Marty McFly is the dad or the grandpa, wheelchair bound. For God's sakes. Is like, you know, a son of Back to the Future kind of thing. Like, at his grandpa's farm, he's bored. It's the summer. Maybe he's the nephew. He was sent there for the summer to, I don't know, get work experience or something. And he's kicking around bored, and he sort of kicking a ball around in the field. Ball goes into an old dilapidated barn, right? Close up a ball, into the doors. Kid's like, oh. And he walks over and like hauls it open, and then you see, this wonder comes across his face, and he sees this dusty DeLorean with all this crap hanging out. There's a DeLorean in here? What's all that crap? And then, to be typically Hollywood, he gets in and he accidentally hits a button, and the car starts up, and when he's gone. But what I would prefer is he goes running back, slams open the door. It's his great uncle or something in the wheelchair. What's that in your garage? He's like, oh, you found it. Let me tell you something. That's how, if you're going to remake something like Back to the Future, that's how you do it. You turn it into not quite a sequel, but like a descendant, Pam is the queen of rabbit holes. Yeah, that's a great quote. We're men of action. Lies do not become us. He's like staring at his hand. Who's looking at? I know someone who wants to know you. Zach says, why can't they leave good cinema alone? They got to stop remaking things for the modern audience that doesn't exist. Yeah. If they do Back to the Future 2 again, I want an accurate prediction on when we can expect hoverboards. You'd break your arse on one just as I would. Back to the Future starring the Tesla Cybertruck. That's what they would do, though, right? Like, if they were to just remake it, they would do that for sure. Especially if they made it while the Cybertruck was still, while they were still trying to flog those things off, right? Product placement. Try to get them sold. Russell says, let's rewrite Back to the Future. You and me, greatest team on the planet. Well, I just gave you the opening scene. That would not be the opening scene. Opening scene would be the kid back of the car staring out the window, staring at an iPad. I mean, it's got to be a 21st century thing, right? Well, at least in Canada. Eastern Canada. We're not even Eastern Canada, right? We're Central. If Hollywood wasn't anti-Musk, they'd use a Cybertruck as the time machine. Now they wouldn't, because Musk isn't trying to sell those damn things anymore. Absolutely rewatch it. Absolutely. Not a waste of your time at all. Inconceivable. You keep saying this word. I do not think this word means what you think it means. Greatest team, at least in Tweed. When I was in Cégep or university, I was one of those irritating kids with the wire rim glasses, and I had a tweed jacket all the time with like the elbow patches. Writing poetry. We'd have to move east. Yeah. You want to move all the way to Newfoundland, or do you want to do like a Halifax kind of thing? What if that farm is on like PEI? It's a potato farm. Kids kicking through the potato farm. Dust everywhere because it's a hard summer. Maybe there's a drought happening. He's kicking a potato along the ground. Rotten potato. Poof. No, it's got to be a soccer ball. Kicks it into the because if it was a potato, the kid would not go in after it into the doors. Hey, great uncle, what's that out there, eh? I have to go to St. John's, Newfoundland. There we'd be the greatest writing team ever. We'd be the drunkenest writing team ever. Whatever happened to the Wrath of Khan movie night? Yeah, we got to do that. We really have to do that. Ooh, second week with no charcuterie board. Destiny. You gonna tell us what the snacks were this night? Or do you have a charcuterie board, or no? I'm gonna pour another little dram of this garbage whiskey. It's like I'm trying to relive a moment from Canadian Railroad Trilogy. Gordon Lightfoot was commissioned to write Canadian Railroad Trilogy. It was for I think it was by the CBC. It was 1967, so it was probably for Canada's 100th anniversary. But I'm about to look it up because I'm looking for that lyric. See also Canadian patriotic music. No? Oh, it's because I should have looked up Canadian Railroad Trilogy lyrics. Poor Gord, he gone. Lyrics. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? There it is. We are the navvies who work upon the railway, swinging our hammers in the bright blazing sun, living on stew and drinking bad whiskey, bending our backs till the long days are done. Didn't have any stew tonight, but I got the bad whiskey. We need someone with a fat pipe to host con night. He's talking about bandwidth. The context is key when someone says something like that. It was gastric crap today. There'll be a family meeting over this travesty, let me tell you. Okay. All right. I'm just going to move right along. Lay down that law. I'd avoid the East Coast of Newfoundland. It's the foggiest place in North America. The only place a bottle of sunscreen will be 10 years out of date before you finish it. Let's move to the Irish Loop. Won't be able to understand a thing anyone says. But we do, you're right, we don't need to see to write a good screenplay. We'll be blind drunk all the time anyway. Know what I'm saying? Oh, I want to circle back to something. Chris said he'll have his second book out in a couple of weeks. Any hints as to what it's about, or do you want to not spoil anything? It's okay if you want to keep it a secret until it's out. Life is too short for bad whiskey. That is true. That is too true. Too right, eh? Oh, yeah, Christy says if it's that foggy, that popped up just as I was clicking. It'll be a depressing screenplay then. Christy said, if it's that foggy, you can write by Coleman Lanterns. The theme song will be by the Kerosene Light by, what the hell is his name? What the hell is his name? By the light of the kerosene. Hold on. But the glow of the kerosene light. The once. No, that's... I'm thinking about... What the hell's his name? I should have looked this up on YouTube. This is so boring for you people. I'm sorry. But what the hell's his name? By the glow of the kerosene light. Not Sarah Arnold. No. The version I'm thinking of. Oh. Gord McCarthy. Songs from Newfoundland. By the glow of the kerosene light. He's not from Newfoundland. He's Irish, but he spends a lot of time in Newfoundland. So that'll be the theme song as we're writing this great movie. Sad song, maudlin song. Angry Otter. I did write a screenplay for a new Nightmare on Elm Street. It revolves around Jacob, the dream child, who inherited pulling people in dreams from Alice, but conditioned by Freddy in his dreams. I'd like to see the climax of that film. Becomes the new Freddy. Meatloaf. No, that's not the same light. Screech is the national drink in Newfoundland, not whiskey. Yeah, but I mean, I've had Newfoundland Screech, and I'm okay with whiskey. Good night, crew. I'm out. Early meeting with the supervisors and the union reps tomorrow. Good night, Paul. Sleep well. Second novel, man has amnesia from a wreck, starts a new life with new people, learning why he was thousands of miles from home, remembering why he was headed there, where he was. It's a mystery till the end. Dashboard Lights Paradise. Russell says, one day Ray showed up at the cabin with Screech. Do you remember the day at all? Oh, he drank it all. Yikes. I mean, look, Screech isn't, I don't think it's high ABV. But it's got the high octane taste, that's for sure. Because I think Screech it's just 40% ABV. I'm looking it up. It's a rum based drink. Or at least it was when I had it. Here we go. Newfoundland Screech is a 40% alcohol by volume dark rum imported from Jamaica but blended and bottled by the Newfoundland and Labrador Liquor Corporation in Newfoundland. The name Screech references a local colloquialism for any cheap high alcohol spirit popularized by a legend involving an American serviceman during World War II who let out a loud screech after drinking the potent rum, to which a local replied, "The screech? 'Tis the rum." The spirit is the centerpiece of the Screech-In ceremony, a rite of passage where non-Newfoundlanders, known as come from a ways, can become honorary Newfoundlanders. A ceremony typically involves drinking a shot of Screech, reciting a traditional phrase, and kissing a codfish, often officiated by a native Newfoundlander in pubs like Christian's Bar or on tourist boats. The rum features notes of caramelized sugar, ripe fruits, vanilla, and oak, with a smooth, balanced finish and no added sugar. Oh, there's a spiced Screech as well. That's a 50%. And Screech honey. Screech is widely available across Canada and New England, and its heritage extends to products like Screech rum, barbecue sauce, and chocolates infused with the spirit. So there we go. Now we know all there is to know about Newfoundland Screech. Oh, Angry Otter's out. All right, good night. Have a good night. Sleep well. Screech is like Buckley's. It doesn't need to taste bad. It's just a marketing gimmick. Zach says Screech was originally a cheap Jamaican rum the fishermen would bring home. That sounds exactly like the origin story for that. Russell tried. Screech was St. John's. That was enough of that. Howdy. Howdy, Jim. Peter Tucker says it's been a work in progress, writing short ones, learning the Amazon KDP, and wanting the other one out first. Comes and goes. I go back to it in my free time. So I've told you guys that I have worked my butt off to hone my TikTok algorithm. This doesn't count for you guys in the States because that's a different ownership now, and they're doing different things. But I've got it down to where almost all of the things I get are political commentary because it's fun, but like book talk, which is people who read a lot and journal their readings, but also a lot of authors, recipes, booze. That's about it. Like I haven't seen a Dancing Belly shirt in weeks, and it's taken me a long time to get it that way. Then, of course, Camille wanted to show me a dance and ruined it, but I've got it back to where it needs to be. Destiny says, all questions for my client will need to be cleaned through his agent first. David says, I drank too much Screech one night while visiting Labrador. Rough morning. I can well imagine. Jim said, snuck some Red Stripe home, having it now while grilling. From where? A whole suitcase full of beer you can't get easily here. I mean, you can get Red Stripe here, but not easily, for sure. Yep. Destiny says, as an emerging agent, I'd like to represent Ray, hoping for a Magic Mike remake. Russell's is asking Jim, are you grilling kind of late? He just got home though, right? Chris says, not yet. I write some and load it on Listen AI. Don't know what that is. To listen for mistakes or to come up with what's next. Russell, if you could find 4 guys in their 60s with Ray's physique, I'd be surprised. Ooker Dooker says, gulp. I do not know why you're gulping, but welcome anyway. Oh, Jim works second shift. That is why you're coming home from work so late every time we're hanging. Yeah. David says you need to remake a version of the Calendar Girls. Maybe call it the Men of Raspberry Rock. I have no idea where you guys are going with this convo. None at all. But I still find it vastly entertaining. So whatever. Disney's like Peanut Trucker first, then success with the Ray. I'm sure the Ray will feel honored to know that you're planning to find success with him. Yeah, I said that. Okay. I see Country Boy went exactly the same place as I did. At least I felt bad about it, though. Bam, 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 bam. I don't know why I poured myself a second dram of this crappy whiskey. Especially when I got tea right here. I think I'm retiring the whiskey for the night. Can't do a second dram of that, which makes it perfect for live stream night, actually. Feeling better that you felt bad about something should make you feel bad. What? Destiny's getting out of hand here. We managed to spend an entire live stream talking about booze. But this isn't my whiskey channel. Now I'm all regretful. Oh, excuse me. Chrissy's going to fill in as Destiny's Laura now. Okay. Good to know. Zach says, tea's a good drink. That's a good headstone quote. Not going to lie. I mean, it's from the shipping news. And whatever his name is, the main character's aunt says, she walks into his house and he's distraught because his dog is dead and he's newly single or whatever. His life is falling apart. And she's like, here, take tea. Tea is a good drink. It's good for what ails you. She came from Newfoundland. And he's living in, I don't know, like Maine or something at the time. And he goes home to Newfoundland. They made a movie about it with like some great actors in it. Like, I think Molly Parker was in that. The Shipping News. And she was also in like Deadwood. bugger me. Who the hell else? Like, so many good actors in it. The aunt is played by Judi Dench, and she looks the part. She sounds the part. But the main character, whatever his name is, was Kevin Spacey, back before he was persona non grata, and Julianne Moore was in it, and I gotta look it up. Okay, yeah, Reese Ifans, Pete Postlethwaite, Kate Blanchett. I mean, I enjoyed the movie. It landed. It went over like a lead balloon. But I liked it. It was a great movie based on a. I also read the book. Great book. Russell says, "No, it's okay. We talked about movies too. That is true. That is right. And like TV shows and such. Knife camping. Okay, perfect. Now we've hit the bushcraft side of things. We're doing great. We're doing great." I'm gonna watch the sipping news. I was gonna say. Zach says, "I watched The Outlaw Josie Wales for the first time. A great gritty western movie." Okay, I will take. Was that like on Netflix or something? Steve Grounds, hi. Yeah, he's offering to run the HR department. Oh, Destiny's out. Battery low. Bonsoir et bisous. At 11 minutes till closing. Now, is that the battery on your phone, or you mean like your social batteries? Like, I am so drained. Because that's a big thing for me, for sure. Hey, Chris is still here. You gonna be here till the bitter end? You must love being home tonight. Because of the nature of your job, you must love being home. Excuse me. Uh-oh. Did I just break the seal? It's okay. We're at 10 minutes of closing. Closing time. Oh, you've been looking for that movie for a decade and finally found it at Sunrise Records in Nova Scotia. Okay. So it's not on any of the streaming services. That is what sucks about this, like this streaming world. There's a couple of films I have on Blu-rays or even DVDs that I'm never going to see again if I don't have a DVD player, because they're nowhere. I don't want to start diving into that with 10 minutes left of our live stream, though, so I'm just going to leave it there. But, and some movies that aren't like killer movies, but that I enjoyed massively, like Bend It Like Beckham, that I saw like 3 times in the theater because it was just it was a great romp. L'Auberge Espagnole was fabulous, but I don't even know how to look it up on something like Netflix. And it had a sequel, Les Poupées Russes. So L'Auberge Espagnole was about a group of students participating in the European exchange student thing. What was it called? Erasmus. It centers around a guy from France. They end up in Barcelona. Great film, some fabulous filmmaking in it. Fabulous. There's a scene where a text message gets sent, like a panicked text message gets sent to like all 9 of them or whatever, and like they've got this like, back in the 60s when shows would have like a line come down and like one scene is here and then something else appears here and like a line would come like this. They had a really cool early 20s take on that. I saw that film like 5 times. Zach said, I fell in love with The Sting when I was on Prime. Had to order the Blu-ray when I wanted to watch it again. You know? Like, the streaming services have not eliminated the need for Blu-ray. Though many, many people thought that that's exactly what would happen. Christy says, Steve wants to know if AI means alcohol included. I love it. I like that. I was listening to a podcast today, the Better Offline podcast, and Ed Zitron had an economist on to talk about sort of the AI bubble that is currently propping up the entire stock market in the United States. And get yourselves out of debt now, or you're going to lose everything very, very soon. Raspberry Rock says that, yes, that's what AI means. I love it. I love it. I would never have thought of that. Wow. The shipping news was 2001. Yeah, so their budget was 38 million, but their box office was 24.6. That's a verifiable flop. And it's a much better movie than that kind of flop. I've lost track of how I wanted to put that sentence together, but it shouldn't have been a flop. It was a flop because of what I keep talking about, how Hollywood doesn't know how to market something that's not familiar to everyone. You know. That's weird timing. Ray sent me an interview where some expert is warning we'll all enter a famine in 3 months. Well, that's because the Strait of Hormuz is where a lot of the world's fertilizer also comes through. So yeah, he's probably right. Because a 2-week opening is not going to solve anything. I'm a comic genius. 6 minutes left, people. If you want to get anything absolutely brilliant into the side chat, now's your time. Now's your time to shine. Yeah, I'm tired. Zach says, can't wait until the AI bubble crashes. Then I can build my PC after RAM prices return to normal. I know, it's awful. It's crazy awful. I priced some RAM recently. I was like, nope. Am I going late because I started late? No, I'm going to bed. I'm going to bed. The thing is, Zach, like, it's going to break relatively soon because there's no profit model. Not one of these companies are profiting. And like about halfway through, so they were supposed to get 16 gigawatts of compute online this year, and like in terms of data centers. And so far this year, they have 5 gigawatts under construction, which makes me wonder, like, where the hell are all the chips that are getting bought up going? If like a third of the data centers they were supposed to be hitting are even being built, like, where the hell are all these chips? Are they sitting in a warehouse in Taiwan? I mean, like, what's going on? Uh-oh, I'm making you yawn. Yeah, I'm yawning too. It's okay. There's 4 minutes left. We can do it together, Chris. We can get to the end together. Russell, I didn't even really start late. I started exactly on time. I almost started late. Have I seen that Veritasium video where they show the huge machine that prints computer chips? No. But for land's sake, send me the link. I will watch that. I will watch the funk out of that. We can do it. We need a picture of Rosie the Riveter. Or, what was the Canadian version of Rosie the Riveter called? I know she's not the Canadian version of Rosie the Riveter, but there was a Canadian analog. What the hell was her name? I don't remember. Huge machine that prints out computer chips. Unreal. I know there's there are a few like small, almost boutique chip manufacturers that are appearing to sort of feed the AI need for chips, and their technology is seems pretty spectacular. Exactly the kind of thing that NVIDIA cannot have happening because they essentially need to be selling like $120 billion worth of chips by 2027 to not tank the stock because of how they've been building. But anyway, because that's the thing, no matter how cool the tech is, when profits don't happen, it doesn't matter, right? Christy's out, it looks like. Hold on a second. Well, I hope you all have a great rest of the week. Be kind to everybody everywhere. It's 2 minutes to the end, Christy. What the hell are you doing? Why you gotta be leaving 2 minutes to the end? Like, why you gotta let me down like that? I'm all hurt and stuff now, okay? Christy. Sleep well. I'm gonna be in bed like 30 seconds after we're done here. I'm working my ass off to make sure I'm in bed by midnight every night. Christy says, we have one huge computer chip plant here and they are building 2 more. Are they chip plants or are they data centers? I think that because they're trying to build data centers everywhere. And I think Arizona and Texas are like the only 2 states where they've been successful so far. David's out too? At 1 minute to the end. All right, you know what? Oh, you're still here. You're just saying your goodbyes. Okay. All right. Fair enough. Huh. Making microchips. Interesting. Yeah, there's a company in Toronto and one in London that are making chips as well. Delivered to a new data center in Louisiana. I love the fact that they're putting a data center in Texas, which is the 3rd worst electrical system in the entire United States. Why y'all so nice? If you cross me in mind, God help you. If not, sleep well. Your messages aren't getting through. Scott was having the same problem. Scott is a country boy trapped in the city. He said he was having the exact same problem. He was saying things that wasn't appearing. But like my mods aren't blocking anything because I would still see those. I don't know what's going on. I'm so sick of weird stuff happening though with this make chat thing. Russell says unto Steve, dude, bro, I gave you a job where you can drink alcohol all day. Why are you crisscrossing? All right, we are now a minute late, so I'm going to shut this thing down, but not before I say unto all of you, every last one of you, all who are left, all 17 of you, thanks for hanging with me till the bitter end. Thanks for keeping this live stream kind of cool and interesting and light and moving. Between now and next week, everybody, please be safe, be sane, be healthy, and be kind to one another. Good night, all.